Good evening, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing well. I hope that you had a wonderful Monday. Mondays get such a bad rap. I think Mondays are probably one of the better days because it's a sign of a new week. Gives us a time to start over. If we had a bad week last week, this is our start over. So, I hope that you spent time with your Father in heaven. I know I did. I got my... So, some news. I got released from a calling. I actually took both my callings today. One I've held for officially I've held it for about 7 years, but I was doing it for 13 years, and that's as a greeter. I'd get to church early, that way I could see all the smiling faces and all the people coming in. I get to meet all the new people, and I loved it. It was very, very hard for me to be released from that one. I enjoyed it. But, as they say, all good things come to an end. But that is not the end. I was called today to be an elder quorum instructor. Now, this is something I've loved, and I love to teach. Now, this is going to be a little different than what I'm used to, because with the new, we have a elders quorum or Sunday school instructor, or not instructor, our Sunday school president gave me some critiquing after my first lesson today, and teaching isn't how it used to be, and that's a good thing. I am thankful for his critiquing, and thankful for a chance to learn how to do things differently. I'm so used to just a lecture style teaching that that's how I did it. And so I need to get with the modern times of how the church is teaching people, and start studying. I mean, I think I have a manual in here somewhere that is on teaching in the Savior's way. But this gives me a chance to learn how to do things differently. Maybe it will help me to be able to teach better on the videos. Of course, it's going to be different than on these videos than how I'll do it in class, because class participation is number one, and I can't really ask people to go into groups or stuff like that. So we'll see if my teachings here will change. So with that, another announcement. Last night, after I said my prayers and was sleeping, I was awakened with the thought of, if I take my tech fast, but I don't record any videos to be played during that time. Will I have enough content to go from October 1st to the end of the month? And the answer is yes. I will actually have enough room to stop making content altogether for the month of September and do a complete and total tech fast. And still have 2 weeks and 2 days to spare. So I think for one of those, for both of those, I think I want to do special Book of Mormon videos. Let me check something before I open my mouth too much. Yeah, so I could do a video on, and I talked about this before, about doing a video that doctrines that are clarified, doctrines in the Bible that are clarified in the Book of Mormon. And I remember one poster loved that idea. But another one I could probably do is a video on the unique teachings of the Book of Mormon. And when I say unique teachings, I'm saying you'll see the Bible touch on it, but doesn't go into deep detail. And this is where the Book of Mormon will go into detail, does go into detail. So I'll probably do that. So I'll do video on how the Book of Mormon clarifies teachings of the Bible, and one on unique teachings of the Book of Mormon that's not found in the Bible, or better yet, ones that are barely touched on in as great as detail as we find in the Book of Mormon. So, unless things change for the last 2 weeks of December, that's my plan. Let me know what you guys think. All right. But now we got to get busy because we are in our first chapter of the book of Helaman. I'm going to read the opening for you. This is like in 1st Nephi and 2nd Nephi. Okay? The account of the Nephites, their wars and contentions and their dissensions, and also the prophecy of many holy prophets before the coming of Christ, according to the record of Helaman, who is the son of Helaman, and also according to the record of his sons, even down to the coming of Christ. And also many of the Lamanites are converted, an account of their conversion, an account of the righteousness of the Lamanites, and the wickedness and abomination of the Nephites, according to the record of Helaman and his sons, even down to the coming of Christ, which is called the Book of Helaman, and so forth. Now, one thing we will be getting is, and this is, I love this prophet a lot, is Samuel. Samuel the Lamanite. He's going to be giving us some awesome teachings. I hope someday Latter-day Saints will be able to see him. Give me 1 second. Okay. Had to get some water. All right. Now, if we remember from chapter 63, Moronihah has died. And Shiblon had taken over. And this is a very short prophet's reign. And Shiblon, he passes away, and Hatton passes these things on to Helaman, who was the son of Helaman. And now we get to talk about what's going on here. Now, it came to pass that Pahoran had passed away, and there had started to be people who were vying for the judgment seat. In fact, there was 3 people who wanted the judgment seats, who were the sons of Pahoran. Now, the names of the people who wanted these seats are Pahoran, Paanchi, and Pacumeni. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. If not, I'm not worried. Now, all of the sons who had contended for the judgment seat caused a division, kind of like the Republicans and Democrats. But then you have the smaller ones. Today, this is how it is viewed today. Democrats, Republicans here in the U.S. And it's quite the division. I mean, could you imagine? We can see what a division with politics does. I know, I hate politics. I shouldn't be teaching it, but it fits into, it's a great example for people to see what this division was doing. Now, unlike today's politics, Pahoran II, we'll just call him that, by the voice of the people, by the election, was called to the judgment seat. That is what the people wanted. Well, Pacumeni saw that Pahoran got the judgment seat, and so he decided he was going to back the voice of the people as well, and backed off. Unfortunately, I swear, where did the parents of these, where did Helaman come up with these names? These are weird names. I know they'll probably think Kevin is weird, but Paanchi, he was actually quite wroth with him not winning. He was a sore loser. And so he decided he was going to flatter the people up into rebellion against his brethren. Well, this didn't go so well. He was taken before he could start this little uprising, and was tried in a court for his attempted coup and found guilty of probably treason, but he was put to death because he actually he was trying to destroy the liberty of the people. Now, those who backed Pacumeni were not happy, so they sent one gentleman. His name was Kishkumen. Now that's a cool name. Kishkumen went into the judgment seat, and murdered Pahoran II, the shortest reigning chief judge in the history of the Nephites. He probably had a week at best, and he was killed. Now, the servants of Pahoran chased after Kishkumen, and they didn't overtake him. They weren't able to. Kishkumen was very fast on his feet. And he went into the people who had hired him, and they hid him. Now, they took an oath. This is where secret combinations start to creep into the Nephite people. Before this, there was no secret combinations. People were outright dissension. We saw that all throughout the Book of Mormon. If people didn't like things, they caused a rebellion. They didn't hide things. They didn't do those things. Now, they actually entered into a covenant with each other that's swearing by their everlasting maker that no one would reveal that Kishkumen had been the one that murdered Pahoran. Now, Mormon really points out here that Kishkumen, when he went into the judgment seat, was in disguise. And so the Nephites didn't know who to look for the murderer. Now, it shows here in verse 12 that Kishkumen actually had a band of people that had covenanted with him, and they mingled with the people. Now, it says here at the end that as many of them that could be found were condemned to death. Now, we don't get much more story than that. Now, because he backed the people, Pacumeni was appointed according to the voice of the people to be the judge in his stead of his brother. And all this was done in the 40th year of the reign of judges, and it came to an end. Now, in the 41st year, the Lamanites poke up their head, and they decide, you know what, we need to destroy the Nephites again. So the Lamanites had a massive army. They thought this army was going to be invincible. They armed them with swords and scimitars and bows and arrows and head plates and breastplates and all manner of armor. And then they decided they were going to go down. So their army was being led by one gentleman by the name of Coriantumr. Now, he was a descendant of Zarahemla. Now, do you remember who Zarahemla was? Zarahemla was actually a gentleman that had come here with the king's son, the King Zedekiah, his son, Mulek. Now, I don't talk about much archaeology on here, but there is, outside of Jerusalem, they found a ring that had the name Mulek. This was one of the only people that had these rings were royalty. Now, Zarahemla, I don't know if that was actually his name or what, but he was the one that led the Mulekites out of Jerusalem. Yes, I'm talking about the old world Jerusalem, the one that king was destroyed at the time of Lehi. Now I know people are going to say, but the Bible records that all the sons were killed. Well, remember, the part of the Bible that is talking about this is a written history record. That is not revelation. This is not prophecy. This is a record. As far as the record keeper knew, all the sons were killed. But this one artifact shows that someone by the name of Mulek, who was a royal person, had escaped from Jerusalem. Now, he may have been one of the youngest sons, probably teenager-ish, but Zarahemla was the leader of this band that was trying to get out of they were trying to get out of Jerusalem. Now, we don't know the path that they took. We don't know what provisions they've had. We just know that they escaped without any records of their language, their culture, nothing. Because when the Nephites found them, it's as if they spoke a different language altogether. And they had to teach the people of the land of Zarahemla the names or the language of the Nephites. So, little history there. Now, Coriantumr, he was a dissenter, so he was a Nephite, and he was a very large and mighty man. I mean, he was a big guy. Probably makes me look like a toothpick. And now the king of the Lamanites, his name is Tubaloth, and he was the son of Ammoron. And I like what it says here in verse 16, that let's see, where was it? And he, who was the son of Ammoron, supposing that Coriantumr, being a mighty man, could stand against the Nephites with his strength and also with his great wisdom, insomuch that by sending him forth he should gain power over the Nephites. And So he did stir up the people in so much anger that Coriantumr was made head of the army. He was their chief captain. And so Coriantumr started marching down towards the land of Zarahemla to battle, of course. Now, because of the dissension with, I'm not good with his name, of the government, Pacumeni, there was much dissension. As we read here in verse 18, it came to pass that there was so much contention and so much difficulty in the government that they had not kept sufficient guards in the land of Zarahemla. For they had supposed that the Lamanites durst not come to the heart of the land to attack the great city. Now, Coriantumr did march directly and came upon the inhabitants of the city. And he cut down the watch by the entrance to the city and did march forth with his whole army into the city. How did they get so far? I mean, Zarahemla was supposed to be far into the city. Was there no other patrols? Was there no other cities between where the Lamanites were coming in and the city of Zarahemla? I guess not. And they started slaying everyone in the city. Now, Coriantumr, Pacumeni, who was the chief judge, did flee before Coriantumr. But unfortunately, not fast enough, because Coriantumr did find him and killed him in the second shortest reign of the king of judges, or the reign of judges. Now, Coriantumr, so now, at this point, all the sons of Pahoran are now dead. The Pahoran II was killed by Kishkumen. Pacumeni was killed by Coriantumr, and the one with the Panaki, I think was his name, he was killed because he tried to commit a dissension and cause treason. So now all three of the sons that were mentioned are now dead. It doesn't say if there was more sons after that at this point. Now, Coriantumr did not stay within the city that long. He sought to go further, so he went to the city of Bountiful, or the city of Bountiful. And he was like, oh yeah, my army's gonna be great. So he decided to go down there, and unfortunately, going down to the land through the center of the land gave Moronihah a great advantage. Now, Moronihah didn't last long. So when they discovered the city when Moronihah saw that Coriantumr's army was coming, they sounded out Lehi and his army, and they headed him off in the land of Bountiful. and insomuch that they did cause Coriantumr and his army to retreat. And they continued to chase. In fact, they got to the point where he was kind of trapped, if I'm understanding this right. They were able to catch up to the army of Coriantumr, and the battle was bloody, insomuch that they actually had killed the general, Coriantumr. The chief captain was dead. And Lehi did not give any way for them to retreat, nor in the north, east, west, south. None of them. There was no way for Coriantumr to retreat. So, thus, it says in 32, thus Coriantumr plunged the Lamanites into the midst of the Nephites, insomuch that they were in the power of the Nephites, and he himself was slain. And the Lamanites did yield up themselves into the hands of the Nephites. And now the army of Moronihah did take possession of the city of Zarahemla once again, and taken all the Lamanites that were there prisoner, and returned the land to peace. And thus ends the 41st year of the reign of Judges. How wonderful is this? Now, the big problem that the Nephites have at this time is who is going to be the next chief judge. We'll find out tomorrow. All right, brothers and sisters, thank you for joining me. I appreciate your love and support. I appreciate your prayers. I do love you guys, and I'm thankful for each one of you. All right, with that, let's call it a day. It's time to go to bed and relax. Guys, take it easy, and we'll see you again tomorrow for another scripture of the day.